Big games from Anthony Simons and Collin Sexton are not enough as the Chicago Bulls get clownied. Talk about it right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome back to another episode of Whole Lot of Bull. I'm Troy. Follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy, but more importantly, follow the show at Whole Lot of Bull. All right, so the Chicago Bulls get absolutely clownied. Those who know, you'll see what I did there. As they go down to the Brooklyn Nets 123 to 115 in Brooklyn. Three straight losses for the Chicago Bulls coming out of the trade deadline. And it just seemed like once again, now whether it be like these players are not clearly not used to Billy's system, and this fast paced up tempo game is wearing these guys out. But the Chicago Bulls, this was this is a tank win. Let's put it that way. Now the Bulls in this game were not tanking. If you saw a short that I put out last night my time, I was questioning whether Chicago Bulls potentially looking at this as a potential tank game, like we saw in that game against the Denver Nuggets, where Buzelis was actually playing really, really well. He played 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. Were we going to see more of that today? We did not. In fact, in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, Buzelis actually played 7 minutes. He sat the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. We saw Anfernee Simons and Isaac Okoro played 10.5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Nick Richards, who was having a nice impact on this game, he played 7 minutes. Collin Sexton, man, this guy is a fucking psycho, and I mean that in a good way. You see the energy that this guy brings, like it's in the nicest possible way. It's absolutely psychotic. And like you saw one play, finally ended up getting burnt by Ben Saraf. But you see that one play where he was getting up on him, and he's really moving on the spot, and then Ben Saraf just makes a move and says, "Bye bye, see you later." But yeah, a disappointing. Okay, depending on what lens you're looking at it, this was a disappointing performance in some aspects. At one point, the Chicago Bulls were down by 15 points in the third quarter. They come back and take a lead, ultimately go down by 8 points. If you're one of those absolute pro tankers, and like this was a great loss for the Chicago Bulls. But I'm in the camp right now where I cannot actively root for losses. I can't just go out there and go, my team must lose. We have to lose. I'm never going to be one of those people. But I'm also realistic enough to know that the Chicago Bulls are going through, as much as AK does not want to say it, they're going through a rebuilding phase. So, and when you're now the fourth youngest team in the league, now that Nikola Vucevic is gone, we are definitely in a rebuilding phase. And hey, when you got 7 new players on your roster, this isn't NBA 2K. Shit is not going to gel. It's not going to gel in 3 games, like 3 or 4 games. You got the Boston Celtics coming up in a couple of days' time. Shit's going to take some development for these guys. Like normally, this is shit that you would do over in training camp, for 2 weeks before the season starts, or 3-4 weeks, however long it is before the actual regular season open. That the teams can actually get together and start training. These guys are having to do basically a mid-season training now, and now with the All-Star Weekend coming up this weekend, fine. Yes, the players will go away. They will have a break. But I'm sure a lot of them, if not most of them, will probably come back quite early and go, all right, let's get some practices in. Let's see, get these guys fitted into the system and see what we can do from there. Do Josh Giddey and Trey Jones come back after the All Star break from their respective hamstring injuries? That will be. If they don't, I'm probably going to start favoring that maybe the Bulls are genuinely trying to tank and lose games. Um, Now just running through some of the numbers now. Anthony Simons and Collin Sexton had big games for the Chicago Bulls today. While Simons wasn't, while he only shot 2 of 9 from beyond the arc, he had a lot of in and out shots for him today. He finishes with 23 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds in 33 minutes. Was a minus 19 for the game, but shot 10 of 17 from the field overall. So hits all 8 of his 2-point attempts, just a 2 for 9 from beyond the arc. Collin Sexton in this game, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist in 32 minutes, 7 of 18 from the field, 6 does get to the free throw lines and makes 6 of 8. So Collin Sexton inefficient with his shooting, but hey, when this guy goes as hard as he does, um, hey, you can like we saw one play where for Collin Sexton where it was a fast break opportunity, and I think it was Rob Dillingham fed him the ball, and Collin Sexton tried to do like the MJ up and under, and it rimmed out, and then Brooklyn gets the ball, but they kind of don't really have control of it, and Collin Sexton just goes after it, creates a loose ball, and then dives in the basketball. You see the entire bench just get up and they're absolutely loving it. So yeah, Collin Sexton bringing some absolute energy and fire and passion to this team. You cannot be mad at that whatsoever. The one expectation I have of this team for the remainder of the season, I'm not about wins and losses. I will care about how they lose games, but I'm not going to care about losing games. That's different from blatantly wanting them to lose games. I'm not going to care if they lose. But it's how they lose that matters to me. Now, the way that we lost to the Denver Nuggets, took it to them for 3 quarters. That is how I wanna see this team play. Now, if you play like that against most teams, especially against the Brooklyn Nets, hey, you're probably gonna end up beating them. But sometimes shit just doesn't go your way in that game, regardless of how hard you play. And that's in a way kind of what we saw today. Well, how I saw this game anyway. That the Bulls were this team is bringing the heart and the energy, and that's what I want to see from this team for the rest of the season. That regardless of wins or losses, I want to see this team bring heart and energy every single possession of the games. Now, Marcus Buzelis in this game, he had a terrible first half. Um, it was horrible for Marcus. Like first half for him, he only had 2 points. 1 is 7 from the field in 11 minutes of action. He was really struggling. He was struggling to get to the basket. Seemed like Brooklyn was doing a good job of cutting him off. 1 of 5 from on his 2-point shots, and 0 of 2 from behind the 3-point line. But in the second half, Martis, he absolutely picked it up. Now this is just in the second half. 16 points, 2 rebounds in 15 minutes. 5 of 6 from the free throw line. So he was getting to the free throw line, which you love to see. 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. But the impressive part of that was getting to the free throw line. And then you heard Stacey King on the broadcast say, he spoke to Martis at halftime. Hey, and Martis is asking, am I getting fouled? And Stacey's like, just keep attacking, keep being aggressive. You will get those calls. And he did. He got the calls. And that's the one thing you do want to see from Martis Buzelis is just keep being aggressive, keep attacking. And if I'm being honest as well, and it's something I was thinking about watching the game, like at times you can see Martis, as he has for against a lot of bigger opponents, he's getting bullied defensively, and he's in some aspects he's losing control of the ball when he's trying to be aggressive offensively. To me, Martis's off season in a way kind of needs to start now. And what I mean by that is fine, give him all the reps he can handle on the court, but I want to see him start working on getting his body bigger now. Getting extra strength on. I don't want to see enough of. I know during the season that all they do is like maintain muscle growth. I want to see him start hitting the gym and putting on bulk now. Start today or start after the All-Star break. Get him in the gym and start building up his body and getting him stronger now, ready for next season. That way, hopefully, come the start of next season, he's put on an extra, 10 pounds of muscle, another 15 pounds of muscle, whatever, however much size and strength he can put on leading into next season. We see what Midas can do, what he can do. And with that extra strength behind him, man, it can be a scary prospect for the opposition. Like this next season, if he can put on enough muscle and enough strength, Martis may have an absolute breakout season. Now, to be fair, there's not really much more to talk about in this game. Sorry, I've already talked about Collin Sexton. Nick Richards in this game off the bench, 12 points, 6 boards, 4 or 7 from the field, 4 or 6 from the free throw line. Nice game. Nick brings some toughness, some shot rim protection. He had 2 block shots in this game. Martis Buzelis had 3 block shots. Simons and Ivy each had a block in this game as well. Gorshan Yobesele, after a couple of nice performances to start his tenure with the Bulls, came right back down to earth, and probably it had a lot to just getting absolutely. It was a mismatch with Nick Claxton. So Yobesele in 22 and a half minutes of action, 3 points, 2 boards, 1 assist. Only took 3 shots in this game. Did have 4 fouls as well. So not Yabba Dabba Doo's greatest game. Rob Dillingham as well showed some more positive signs. 8.7 rebounds. The smallest guy on the floor had 7 rebounds in just under 22 minutes of action. 4 of 10 from the field. Only the 1 turnover as well. So hey, Rob Dillingham showing some signs, but I still don't think he's going to be a player that the Bulls potentially keep around long term, unless they just planning on let Anfernee Simons go and Collin Sexton go. Do they trade Trey Jones in the offseason and you run with Josh Giddey and Rob Dillingham as your point guards? Obviously, that remains to be seen. And Isaac Okoro in this game, it was disappointing for him. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So those numbers look good. 3-7 from the field, gets to the free throw line 4 times, makes all of them. Then he's a minus 25 in the plus minus. Now, I know, the plus minus for a 1 game sample size is not the greatest, but when you're a minus 25, yeah, that kind of stings a little bit as well. Whereas over on the Brooklyn Nets, they absolutely, Noah Clowney, and hence why the title of this game is the Bulls get Clowney'd. They absolutely ran us like, yeah, we got Clowney. So Noah Clowney in this game, he goes 4 or 6 from beyond the arc in this game. So for some reason, this guy's only a 30+% 3-point shooter. He just seems to catch fire when he plays the Chicago Bulls. He finishes with 22 points, 6 boards. Nick Claxton, 28 points and 10 boards, 4 assists for him. Very efficient night for him. 12 of 15 from the field, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. He's obviously not the greatest of free throw shooters. Rookie Nolan Traore, if I'm pronouncing that right, being a Frenchman. 13 points, 13 assists for the rookie. Nice night there. Drake Powell. Now, we saw that extremely powerful layup that Drake Powell had on Patrick Williams. I know a lot of people would say he dunked it. It was like, well, I'm sorry. as far as the rule book is concerned, as far as the technicality of what a dunk is, your hand actually has to touch the rim for it to be a dunk. So extremely powerful layup there from Drake Powell. Hey, it looked nice. Yeah, Patrick Williams almost got posted, but he's a nice player out of North Carolina for the Brooklyn Nets. 14 points, five rebounds. He looks like he's going to be a classic 3-and-D athletic wing for them. So they got some nice young pieces over there in Brooklyn. They're building up something like Danny Wolf, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Yeah, not so. Again, how you look at this loss, how you look at this loss depends on what your outlook for the remainder of the season is. For me, again, as I said before, at this stage of the season, I don't care about wins or losses. Win games, lose games, I don't care. What I care about is how this team plays. And would I like to see the Bulls, if Arturas Karnisovas is generally trying to tank the rest of the season, would I like to see the Bulls climb up the standings, right? Up the lottery standings? Absolutely. Now, before I go, we'll have a look at where the Bulls do sit in the lottery standings. So this is their 5th straight loss. They still sit. Now, this is the lottery standings, is not the conference standings. The Bulls sit 10th in the lottery standings. Obviously, Sacramento with the worst record in the NBA has the highest, well, equal highest odds with Indiana and Washington presently for the top 3 picks. Oh, Sacramento on a 13-game losing streak. That is nasty. But the Bulls only, like, we're a game ahead of Charlotte for 10th in the lottery standings. They lost for the first time after a 9-game winning streak against Detroit. So hell of an effort there from the Charlotte Hornets. The Bulls are only a game and a half now behind the Milwaukee Bucks for the ninth spot in the standings, and behind the Memphis Grizzlies for 8th. So depending how this Bulls season shapes out, there is still potential for the Bulls to climb the lottery standings. Now, does Giannis come back? Well, if he does, that will definitely help Milwaukee climb up the actual standings in the Eastern Conference, help Chicago go up the lottery standings. Yeah, how do things work out in Memphis? Now, they're going to be building around Cedric Howard. I mean, obviously, does Ja Morant come back from his injury? If so, hey, Ja Morant might muck around and help them get a few wins. The Dallas Mavericks, they're 19-33 on a 7-game losing streak. Bulls probably aren't going to catch them. I personally don't think the Bulls could probably get any higher than 8th in the lottery standings. But hey, crazier things have absolutely happened. So let's just look at the Bulls' upcoming schedule. Now, the Bulls do play the Boston Celtics in Brooklyn on Wednesday. Reunion with Nikola Vucevic. And then obviously we go into the All-Star breaks, and then the Bulls have 8 days off. And then they're home against the Toronto Raptors, against the Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, and that's to end February. So the Bulls' last game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left of February. There's definitely potential that the Bulls drop all of those games and we end up on a double-digit losing streak. And then as you go into March, to end was it a 6-game homestand, the Bulls will play the Milwaukee Bucks. Is Giannis back by then? Who knows? Then we play the Oklahoma City Thunder, then the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. Hey, with the way the Kings are going, that could be a win for the Bulls. It may still be a loss. Then we play the Golden State Warriors and then the LA Lakers to round out the West Coast trip. Then they return home to play the LA Clippers. It's going to be it could be a very, very rough stretch for the Chicago Bulls coming up over the next month. And hey, if you're looking at it from a purely we must tank, we must lose games point of view, then hey, this could be a great month coming up for you if you're just a hey, we must lose every single game possible. Me, I never want to see my players go out there and throw games. I don't want to see my coaching staff lose games. Um, but hey, we shall see what AK has in store, and if AK wants to tank, does Billy Donovan fall in line with that? But that's going to do it for me on this edition of Whole Lot of Ball for tonight. Thanks again for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, thanks to all the new subscribers that have come along. I hope you guys keep tuning in for future episodes. I've started dropping some shorts as well, so you guys can check those out. Help support the channel. Gets the channel more in the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm as well. So appreciate all of you for tuning in again. Don't forget you guys can follow me on Twitter at Balls_Troy. Follow the show at Whole Lot of Ball. So until next time, Balls fans, see red. Be good.